I've been having a hard time prying myself out of the warm house. So I've been feeling bad though, because it's clear skies, but it's not freezing temperatures. So it's really not that bad. Yeah, so I decided, okay, let me do a project that I can get done in like maybe an hour or so. I need to get the fence down, the mesh fencing around the garden. Last year I didn't get it done because it snowed too soon. But what happens is it kind of, the snow weighs down the mesh fencing, and then it kind of tears at, you know, where the screws are holding it to the fence posts. So if I get that done, that'd be great. But I also don't want the deer to get out here and eat whatever's left and get them used to eating what's in the garden. So the kale is kind of toast. I could have saved it and cut it and put it in the freezer because I do have a little space right now. But it is just so covered in caterpillars this year that it's just not worth dealing with. I hope to be able to eat the kale longer, but it's just like so gross. So I need to cut that back, and then I think whatever's left out there is not such a big deal. I was a little concerned that maybe the deer would get into my low tunnels and the tarps, you know, where I have the leeks and the carrots and stuff, but I think it's pretty safe. So I'm gonna start by cutting back the kale. Okay, so I got all of the kale and chard out here, cut back, and the little bit of chard that was in the greenhouse was frozen and done, so I just pulled that out. I clipped the tops of the kale out here and then clipped them at the base and threw the, you know, the kale tops into the compost bins and the woody stems into the hugelkultur. But this bed right here didn't have anything growing in it except for the kale. You know, there's no clover undersown. So when I get seaweed, I want to put some on that bed. I want to finish up with the seaweed on these beds here. This bed of kale had clover growing in it. These two beds of kale and chard had clover growing in there. That should hold the soil in place pretty good. Those two half beds back there have stuff grown in them. But this bed right here doesn't have anything except for the arugula along the edge. So I want to get this bed also covered in seaweed the next time I go out. I don't have a whole lot more time, but I think I'm going to try and pull down the fences before I go in and do dinner. I'm pretty happy that at least I got out and got something done today. I didn't waste this beautiful day. It is a little after 4 o'clock and the sun has already gone down. I did get the fences pulled off the fence posts and temporarily stashed here in the composting bins. They're not rolled very tight, and I'm afraid that some birds or something might get in here and get snagged. So I'll probably roll these up again tomorrow nice and tight. But that job is done for now. Hi! It's almost 3 o'clock and the sun is already hiding. You can see there is no fence. And I am going to roll up the fence now. Okay, so it just occurred to me that I have the fence up around my raspberries here. But, you know, I really don't want to take this down because in the spring, the little shoots will come up or whatever, the leaves will start sprouting. And I don't know. I want to deal with this fence? Maybe I should just leave it up. Well, what I'm going to do is leave it up for now. And I got the fence at least around the garden. And when the garlic shoots come up out there, I can just put them under row cover, which will make them warm and happy anyway. Not sure what I'm going to do with this fencing here. I suppose with it sitting up like this, it's less likely that a bird is gonna get into it. I have the remnants on the roll there. And I got one batch sitting up here, and then my little pile sitting right here, which maybe I can even just stuff into a garbage bag or something. Anyway, fence is done. Dudes, I live in this glorious place. Hi. So the tides were finally right, so that I can be out here during the daytime. And so I'm getting seaweed. Dudes, look at the little tiny sunspot sunset. So pretty. I am back at the ranch. I'm always tempted to just get the seaweed out on these beds the same day, but it's gonna be dark in just a little bit. And I need to grab a few leeks from underneath the polylo tunnels. So maybe I'll just unload the seaweed tomorrow. So dudes, my rocks pinning my tunnels down are stuck in a puddle of ice. Oh no. Well, I got my leeks, but that wasn't easy. I guess this is a drawback to having your rocks sitting on top of your plastic rather than being rolled underneath the plastic. So I was super excited about this new shiny phone that Tyler got, that the speakers weren't working, you know, whatever. And so I thought, oh yay, brand new camera for me. But yeah, I took a little video and the sound seemed to work for video, but it doesn't. It has like this weird robotic sound. So I don't know, it's fine for time lapse. 2:27, man. Hi, I'm out here. It's a little after 2:30 in the afternoon. And that's why I like unloading seaweed the day of, because one of my biggest difficulties is prying myself out of the warm house to get out here it's not as cold as yesterday. Yesterday it was below freezing all day, just a little bit, and today it's up like, I don't know, 40 degrees Fahrenheit or something like that. So I'm gonna get the seaweed out onto this bed first, the other bed over there, and the two little bits of clover sticking out. And then I think that's done for seaweed on this area of the garden. And I was planning on the new garden area, maybe just throwing seaweed directly on it. But I think what I'm gonna do is actually any future seaweed loads, throw them into the composting bins here. Because I think I wanna rototill the new garden area, get the sand really nicely homogeneously mixed with the sand and soil mixed, you know, and I'll do that in the spring, right? And then I can throw a nice thick layer of seaweed out there. I mean, it's more work, but I think that's what I'm gonna do. That's the plan. That's the plan. That's the plan, Stan. That's the plan, Stan. I'm psyching myself up. Here we go. So I got that far bed covered in seaweed, And in this new garden area, I got this last bed covered in seaweed and the two ends finished here on these beds. For perspective, this is the newest garden area out here. And I've got a little bit of seaweed left in the truck, so I'm just kind of scattering it over this one bed here, you know, where it was a little thin. These three beds here are garlic. Well, folks, it is getting dark, so I'm gonna say goodbye. I apologize if you were looking forward to a video of me cleaning out the cellar, as I had suggested last week. But you know, I am controlled by the weather and the tides. So it was seaweed week this week. See you guys next week. Last but not least, I need to pull my little garden buddy out and stash him for the winter.